How do you keep showing up in such raw vulnerability and grow and evolve when there's so much BS and contradictions and noise? How do you continue to stay true to you? This is a question that I had asked from someone in my community, and I really wanted to take a few minutes to come and share with you about how I feel about this. And I can feel like vulnerability, I can feel emotion that's right under the surface for me because here's the thing is the choice to continually show up online and in this world with such raw authenticity. It really was a choice that I made 26 years ago, um, probably almost to the day, actually. And this decision to walk away was when I walked away from an abusive relationship for the final time. And for those of you who don't know, I experienced abuse growing up and then again in my own relationship. And so when I walked away from abuse, I vowed to myself to do whatever it took so I would never fall, never be in this situation again. And so that really opened up me to this world of such dedication to understand why this was an intergenerational pattern that kept on occurring. So not only am I altering it for myself, but for all the lineages that came before me and the ones that will come the ones that were yet to come. And so you can tell that this isn't scripted because I'm stumbling my words through it, but bear with me. Um, so in that was a profound choice where I decided I would never outsource my power ever again. I would never outsource my thinking, my autonomy, and my sovereignty. And I was going to do what was felt aligned and true and right and real for me. And so, in every thread that I teach, and over the years, it started off in personal development, and then it leaned more into spirituality, and then and then it was at the cross intersection of spirituality and sexuality and eros and pleasure and intuition and consciousness and all of these big, beautiful, amazing things, right, that are available to us in our path of evolution and healing and finding alchemy and transformation. And so I don't think that there's a stone that I haven't turned in my healing journey, in my alchemy, um, over the past 3 decades. And so, in that, how do I keep showing up with raw authenticity when there's so much bullshit around us, when there's so much noise, and we're in a world where everything is super glammed up, right? Everything is high glam, everything is filtered. So, who am I as a middle-aged woman to show up in such naked truth and vow this crazy dedicated path of sovereignty and autonomy where we don't need filters, we don't need glam, and transformation doesn't need to always look like it belongs on the front cover of a magazine, right? The naked truth is that it is available to all of us, right? And I started on this journey when I had no money. I had no one. I had all I had really, and there wasn't, the internet wasn't even around then, all I had was dedication and a promise to myself. And that is what started. It started off with a dedication and a promise and a vow that I made to myself. And I've stayed true to that vow because the alternative was too great. I refused to live another day where I was going to get abused. And I would do everything in my power that I would not allow my future kids to inherit my pain, right? And so in that autonomy and that sovereignty, that dedication has allowed me to, it's really easy in no matter what thread, you're in and you're into, whether it's self-help, whether it's the work, whether it's, spirituality, personal development, doesn't even matter because we can become so fixated on what this narrative looks like or how to. And so, but really what happens is we give ourselves over to people, to to gurus, to mentors, to coaches, to these people where we pedestal them and think that they know the answer. Show us, tell me what to do, and I will do it because I cannot do this on my own anymore, right? And so really everything that I believe in and I teach and I embody and I do is that we have to become self-sourced. And so, yes, there are teachings and there are people and there are objects that can help us on our path in our journeys to evolve. However, it has to stem from us. And I think that that is the reason why I can show up in such raw authenticity and grow and continue to evolve and share with you in the way I do, because I think that even if it's an abuse that isn't necessarily violent, isn't necessarily unconsensual, I think that it's abusive behavior when anyone robs us of our power and we give our power away to other people, even if it's our mentors and us pedestaling them from a place that comes from love and worship or maybe reverence. I think that there has to be a grounded realism whereby the power needs to be installed with us first and then shared with others. And I think that that is so crucial and important and understated in all of these teachings, because if we want it to be sustainable, if we want it to mean something, if we're really that embodied in our quest, in our promise to be in accordance with the highest good of all people, to show up as benevolent beings, then that needs to be a value that we share as a mentor, as a practitioner, as a coach, as a leader in this space, is that there has to be a grounded, embodied truth and realism that I am so much more than I realize, than I give myself credit for, that I am a powerful creator and I am also just a little pinhead in this universe. And so I'm everything and I'm nothing, and constantly being anchored and embodied in knowing that truth is designed to change. Truth is a mutable law, and nothing is fixed. And as soon as we shut ourselves off with limited thinking or one side of the equation without letting coexistence to exist, then we're breaking the law and we're feeding this noise. We're feeding this, even if we're not contributing to the noise, even if we're silent, then our silence also screams. Our silence says more than our words sometimes. So sometimes, what is our inaction saying, right? And so it's not about knowing and um, be able to chant Sanskrit and these beautiful affirmations. It's how do they feel and live inside of you? What is the truth there? And I think that that is the only question that we ever really need to ask ourselves. And that is how we continue to grow in raw authenticity. And I think that it's something that, I really invite us all to really, I think, reevaluate, because we need to if we want to really step outside of this machine, if we genuinely want to build these ecosystems that are benevolent to all beings, that serve more than just ourselves and even our clients, we get to serve and give back to the community and contribute to social change. If we genuinely want this to happen, then we have to only support people who embody this truth. And so I think that that is, no matter what you're doing moving forward, no matter who you're journeying with, my invitation to you is that, are they embodied? Are they bringing out in you your power, your embodied truth, your knowing? Are they embodied to the bone? Do they live in integrity to the words that come out of their mouth, right? Does their space tell the truth, or is it just a staged performance, right? I think it's something that we feel to the bone, and we can get caught up in the glitz and the glamour and and the high gloss magazines and the yacht in the background where they're all wearing white. Why do they always wear white? I don't know. But I think I really love this raw truth, this nakedness, because the power that I feel and the tenacity of a middle-aged woman showing up with no filter, both visually and, and via her voice. I think that that's to be celebrated. And who are we not to? And I think that the more of us that do that, then we become the ripple of something that is true and sacred. And how can we not? I am ReneeMayne, and I would love for you to continue to join me, whether it's on here via a comment or a like, a subscribe, share, because these raw videos don't always get seen, because we do break the algorithm, because we're breaking the rules in how we show up. So any help that can be supported, we can show our support by doing really small things like that. And I will say thank you to you. And I've got some free resources below if you want to deepen into this journey of sovereignty and autonomy with me. I have got a masterclass coming up, and that is how to choose differently without blowing up your life. And it's something that I feel really strongly about, because change can't come at a cost of where we blow up our lives. And that fear that is very alive in a lot of people is we're not scared to take the action for change. We're scared, consciously or unconsciously, we're scared about the ripple effect of what that change creates. And so I'm here to tell you that you can change your reality and you can do that without blowing up your life. And if that's something that you it resonates with you, then check out the masterclass in the link below. Bye, everybody.